Hey guys, it's time to do a little sketching in our MLab branded notebooks that I gave you. It's the brown paper colored notebook with the MLab brand on it in red. Let's get to it. All right, here's my little setup. My desk. Oh, what's this? Oh, is this gum? It's not. This is not actually gum. I did not open my bazooka yet. I still have them. They're both right here. They're doing fine, and I'm not going to eat them for a while. This is actually stamp material. It's like rubber stamp material. It's how I made the brand logos on your notebooks. I put this into a plotter. Essentially, it's like a printer. You send it a vector graphic, and it will cut something out for it. And I cut the MLab logo out and then trimmed it and stamped all of your things by hand. Took a long time. All right, so here's what we're gonna be doing. A couple of things. We're just starting off. If you want, you can put your name on here or not. I kind of put these lines on there and created a stamp for it so that you could do something like that. If you want to put your name, something else that signifies it's yours, go ahead. You can even draw on it if you feel like it. But we're going to start on the first page, and we're going to do a couple things. And this is something we're going to be doing throughout the next 7 weeks. We're going to be using this book to jot down our ideas. It's going to be an exercise that we do for almost every project, and it's going to be important that you do it a very specific way, because we're going to be scanning these, and you're going to be turning those in, and maybe at the end we're going to be using those to showcase along with our finished product or our projects, depending on what we're doing. So I'm going to be showing you kind of a style that we're going to be doing this, and that is sort of a hodgepodge type of style, where we've got information and we've got sketches and we've got diagrams and all kinds of stuff kind of all happening together. So it's going to make it look like it's a sort of very robust, in-depth study as to what we're doing. But it's also an exercise in how to display things. And we'll go over that later. So the first thing we're going to be doing in this journal on this first page is we're going to be thinking about our hopes, dreams, and wonderings. So we're going to create sort of a title, and I'm going to do it in caps. Hopes, dreams, wonderings. And then I'm going to stylize these somehow. I'm just going to put underlines on these, and then maybe lines above them. And then I'm going to give some varying thicknesses to my typography in here, just to give it a little bit of a different feel. So a different style than what's going to come after that. And that makes it stand out as a heading. Hopes, dreams, wonderings. And maybe I could do a little... I like doing these kinds of weird things. And then hopes, dreams, wonderings, yes. And now I'm going to do my hopes, dreams, and wonderings for 3 different things. My life, this class, this world. And let's use like the top half here. Hopes, dreams, wonderings. What are some things that I could do? Well, in addition to kind of writing down my ideas in text form, I'm going to be illustrating it as well. So you, depending on how you work, you might want to start with the illustrations. And so, you know, let's say if I'm going to do wonderings, I should have given you guys all a Sharpie. I realize I didn't. Although a Sharpie might bleed through this. Should we check? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to draw the world. That's Baja, South America, Florida, Greenland. Greenland's actually very small, believe it or not. A little bit of Europe. We'll have nice Africa. And then there's Hawaii. You probably wouldn't be able to see Hawaii on there. And then I'll do my, there we go. So I'll just do that and I'll say, the world. And then maybe I'll do, actually, no, let's use the whole page. Let's just use this whole page. This whole front page is going to be about our hopes, dreams, and wonderings for our lives, this class, and the world. I can't even remember how my own logo works. I think there's a measuring thing over here. Yeah, okay. And so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of doing some sketches here of something visible that's a visual that connects to the idea that I'm trying to come up with. And the reason I'm adding these graphics is it helps your brain sort of connect to that thing, but also when someone looks at this later and they see this as part of the process or part of our process, it helps connect them to what you're doing. And we're going to be using this later in the semester when we create infographics and we come up with ways of showcasing information to people in spaces. So in our, like I said, there's a class, so there's the M Lab. I'm gonna use my red pen. I should have given you guys all a red pen and a Sharpie. I realize that I should have now. And also a dice bag, but it's too late now. But you guys do, I think you did get some pens in your bag, and you also have colored pencils. So you can use colored pencils if you want to add color and stuff. So maybe I have like some markers. Actually, I do have colored pencils. I actually got the same colored pencils that you guys got. I just kicked the camera. That happens. That's okay. So I'm gonna bring my colored pencils out, and I'm gonna color on the M Lab with a little bit of red. Oh yeah. You see how just doing a little quick outline and then a little bit of color in there just kind of makes it the whole thing pop, right? Very simple. I don't consider myself a drawer by any means. But there are techniques you can do to simplify creating visuals and kind of mask the lack of skill. Look at that. Looks like I did the cool, some really cool drawings. No, not really. So a nice thick outline in black and some coloring to something makes pretty much anything look well rendered. Well rendered means like a time has been spent into that thing, creating it. So what else? My life. What would I use to represent my life? I don't know. How about like time? I'm gonna do like an hourglass. I don't know why that represents my life. Maybe because life is short and I feel like it's running out. Wow. I didn't think I was going to be getting this deep. So here's my hourglass. I'm just doing like the outline, and I'm going to do some little dots in here for the sand. And you guys can come up with your own thing that represents your life. That's your visual. So notice I just do the simple things, right? These simple dots. And then by taking a little bit of color, ooh, there is brown, good. So I'll take some yellow here. And it's going to be wood, like a wood base. I like wood. And so then I'll add a little yellow and then brown. So there's sort of like some highlights and shadows in this wood. Like that. And then we'll say the color inside there is orange. So that I put these little specks in there to kind of make it look like there's sand. And now if I just fill that with orange, the whole thing kind of comes together. And it looks more like sand is sitting in there. Not a lot of, doesn't take a lot of time. So now I'm gonna start listing out my hopes and dreams, wonderings. And you guys are gonna do the same thing just like I'm doing. Write hopes, dreams, wonderings up here in some way, some style. If you want, you can look up some cool typography on like Pinterest or just Google fonts or something if you want an idea of what you could just sketch that looks sort of different than everything else. And some of you probably already do this kind of stuff already anyway. Or you could just create it however you want. Later on, we'll be getting into more in-depth views of how to create font stacks and different things like that for informational design. The world, what are my hopes, dreams, and wonderings? Oh boy, geez. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna say peace. I mean, that's easy, obviously, right? Peace. And I'm gonna choose a different style for each one of these. So the thing I love about this paper is I'm hoping that you guys start using this kind of paper. It's sometimes hard to find. It's basically graph paper, except there's not all these lines, it's just dots, right? So it's gridded dot paper. And if you wanted lines in here, you could create lines, right? So I'm gonna just create some lines for that. That's nice. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. These lines are gonna be a little bit wider. And then down here, I'm gonna do the same thing. This I'm gonna do shorter, and I'll show you why. So the world, I'm gonna start adding things to this. I am here. So the world, what do I want from hopes, dreams, wonderings about the world? Peace. Environment. I'm just gonna list words that come to me. Environment. I'm going to say war, and I'm actually going to cross it out, right? Because that means no war. I'm just getting creative with how I'm writing this stuff. You guys don't have to do it exactly this way, but if you're not sure what to do, this works. I'm also going to add a little creative stuff in here. I'm going to go Atlantis, because Atlantis is under there. Right in the middle of the Atlantic, right? You guys know that. It's true. Facts don't lie. And then I'm going to underline these just because it makes it look a little bit better. Peace, war, environment. Okay, let's go and maybe flesh that out a little more. Obviously, I'm having trouble thinking of anything about what I want the world right now as it's falling apart. So my life, happiness, of course. And you could write this as a sentence, as a story, just get creative with it. The thing we're trying to do is create some kind of visual for hope, dreams, wonderings, and do that in the style that you want. This is just kind of how I do it, and this is a good starting point if you don't know what to do. So happiness. I'm just gonna write things that are important. Family. Time. More time. I need more time. Time. There's not enough time. Never enough time. And if you can't think of anything, then you can start trying to do more of this stuff. So if I give these a little bit of a background color, then I'm using a light color on these dark things, and those kind of become separate, right? That kind of makes those pop a little bit. And then if I wanted to, I could do things like hopes, dreams, and wonderings, green, yellow, and orange. I could start coloring those things that way. I'm not going to, though. I'm just going to try and speed this up so you guys can get on to doing your own. MLab, what do I want out of this class? Experts. I want you guys to become experts. I want to solve problems. Problems? And then I'll extend these so that it fits that. Creativity, and connection to the real world. Now, I want to create connections to the real world for you guys for what we're doing. So now that gives me a really easy way to kind of do this. Am I coming back? Nope, going this way to where? Yep, that's right, the world. And I'm going to use a really thin line and then some nice starting point and end point that are about the same thickness, and that gives that kind of a cool feel. And yeah, you can sort of fill this thing out, add things in here that you feel like it needs. And what you're trying to do is kind of make the page feel full of your ideas, but these ideas are happening in a multitude of different ways. And yeah, at the end of the week, we're going to turn in that hopes, dreams, and wonderings. And I'm going to be adding to this over the next few days as we do this first week. And we'll move on to the next page. All right, take it easy. Don't eat your gum yet.